college, I got married, I have children. Can I just give my time to the next generation? So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made himself available, even though being a very, very, very busy person. And there's one verse in the Quran, and as you all know, Imam al-Shafi'i, he says, there's a surah in the Quran, if this surah was only revealed and no other surah, it would suffice us. Anyone know what the name of the surah is? And they will win 100 USD. Not Egyptian pounds, that's nothing. There's a surah in the Quran. If no other surah in the Quran was revealed, and if Dal, you can't answer. If there's any surah in the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Imam al-Shafi'i is saying, if there was no other surah in the Quran that was revealed besides this surah, it would suffice us. And that is Surah Al-Asr. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And there's another وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْمَرْحَمَةِ in what surah? In Surah Al-Balad. The ulama say if there was no other verse in the Quran besides the second to last verse of Surah At-Tawbah, it would suffice in describing who Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Indeed, and this is the verse that we are discussing, so we can shed some light on the empathy of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah Himself says, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Indeed, no doubt about it, you might question it, CNN might tell you to question it, the Orientalists might tell you to question it, but indeed, no doubt about it, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet of God. And he's the final prophet of God. Believe it or don't believe it. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Indeed, no doubt about it, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a messenger. And he came to you all, and he had human experiences. He understands your life, and he understands your circumstances. He, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knows what pain is. He understands what loss is. A man who never knew his father, a man who lost his mom when he was 6 years old. You know when you see all these videos on your thread, on Instagram, on TikTok, you see all these videos, you ever ask yourself, how blessed I am? This child in Gaza had a mother and father for 6 months. You had a mother and a father for 30 years, 35 years, some of us 50 years, some of us even longer. And we have not yet appreciated them. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he only had a mother for 6 years. He lost his father. A man with no biological siblings. A man, when his life turned around and things started falling in place, he gets a job, he gets a business, then he meets this remarkable woman, Khadija, radiallahu ta'ala anha. He gets married to her, he settles down with her, and then what happens? They have 2 children, and they lose both of them. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lost 2 of his children amongst the others. And the ulama mention that these children died around 5 or 6 years old. Some say he had a boy, and then sometime later he had the other one. But he lost 2 of his boys, and then he buried them. The fate that a human being goes through in this life is not comparable to losing a child. Your life is no longer the same. As a parent, your child becomes sick. Your child stays out longer than they should. The parents are worried, and this is for the youth. The less worry you put in the hearts of your parents, the less worse, the same thing your children will do for you. Because what goes around comes around. I give one example. In one of the Islamic dynasties, a man went to the head of state and he told him, I'm here to complain to you about my son. So the Khalifa at that time said, what is your complaint? He said, my son hit me 3 times, but I only hit my father twice. He complained to the head of state and he told him, my son hit me 3 times, but I only hit my father twice. What goes around comes around. The way you treat your parents, wallahi, your children will treat you the same. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Indeed, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he came as a prophet to you all. He knows what you are going through, and he has dealt and seen these human experiences. He knows what pain and adversity is. Is Allah just trying to tell me a fact that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is from amongst us? Or is he trying to say something more deeper? No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to say that, and he's trying to say something else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam can relate to us. And if he can relate to us, then we should listen to what he has to say. It's not just he has shared these same experiences. No, I know what you're going through. So when I'm going to give you an advice, and when I'm going to tell you what to do, you follow. And the ulama mention over here, there's a difference between the messenger and the message. We have as a community to follow the wisdom of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to understand who is the proper means to deliver every message. It's probably not the most wise that the uncle every single time is advising the youth. Should we say that the uncle could never advise the youth? No. But sometimes it's better for the younger generation who is more spiritual and taking their religion seriously, and he was young at the time. And he came to Prophet Muhammad demonstrate. So he goes to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wants to speak to him. And he's having trouble. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gauged the room, he gauged the audience, and he felt that the other senior Sahaba that were sitting around him, who are not infallible, they started to feel pity for Al-Hussein. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your messenger, is looking at Al-Hussein, and eye in eye, smiling in his face, and he waited for him to finish. A young man is trying to deliver a message to the icon of all of time, and he's looking at him in his eye, and he's waiting for him to finish. As you all know, speech pathologists mention that when someone has a stutter, if you correct them while they're trying to figure out what that word is, you decrease their confidence in themselves. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he waits until he finishes. And then he says the following statement. Al-Hussein finishes what he has to say. And he sees the senior companions around him like, come on. They didn't say it, but he read the room. And he felt their body language. What are you doing? What does Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? He says a statement. Gathered the adults, and he screaming. You think it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those that love the dunya until I heard this verse. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as you all know, he gave an order, and he told the archers, do not leave this hill, even if our bodies are being eaten by birds. So they suffered a loss at Uhud. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you could imagine, he is suffering. His command was not obeyed in totality. However, he puts his feeling to the side, and now he's going to prioritize other people. Sometimes it's very difficult for us. We have a toothache. Our days are not going the way we want it to go, and we are only worried about ourselves. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he suffered one of the biggest loss of his life, and now he's going to display to you all what true empathy is. Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu at this time was about 18, 19, 20 years old. And Jabir had 7 sisters. Jabir at this moment, he becomes responsible for 7 women because his father became a martyr in this battle. He's a 19-year-old man, And now he has to be responsible for 7 women. He has to look at 7 candidates and make sure that they're good for his sisters. And up until then, he has to see what their needs are. That's the first thing every believing child wants to know. Did my mother and my father... Some of us don't... is talking to him about this camel. And I'm the prophet of God, you better give him cold water. So don't you dare undermine